Okay, right. Recording is started. Okay, the screen sharing is also done. Right. See, today the topic is the factory methods in Java. So, what is this factory method? Right. So, when you have to understand factory method, I want you to understand a small technique. Okay. So, let me show you the small Java program. So, I have a class A. Inside the package ABC, I have taken two classes. One is class A. The second one is what? Second one is the test class. So how many classes I have taken? I have taken two classes. One is class A, the second one is the test class. So see what I am trying to do here. And inside the class A, I am taking a constructor. Okay, let me say the constructor as A constructor. Okay? I have a constructor inside the class A. And also I am taking a method. The method says return type of the method is void and the name of the method is something like the test method. So a simple instruction that I want to take inside so that you will get to know whether this method is getting executed or not. Okay. Let me say test itself. Right, very simple, isn't it? So I have two classes. One is class A, constructor is there and a method is there, and there is a main class which is the test class, and there is a main method. Right. So if I ever have to call the test method, okay, if I ever have to call test method, we know these things already, right? What usually we do, you create an object for the class A because the test method is part of class A, so object creation is mandatory. So we know these things already. So by using this reference variable obj, you just directly call the test method. This is going to give you the output. The output is very straightforward. Anyone can guess this, right? Let me save this. I'll give you the idea here. Let me save this with test.java. Okay, it has been saved successfully. Let me perform the compilation. Java C space ABC. Sorry, Java C space hyphen D space dot space test.java. The compilation is successful. Java space ABC dot test. Let me minimize this. Let me delete this once again. The folder is empty. Wait, I just to sorry guys. One minute. I have a class A. Let me write this class quickly. Public class test I have. Okay, let me take the main method. Take static main array box. Okay, let me take the A constructor. Okay, and also let me create the test method. Okay, let me use the system.out.println. The method name is test. I want to know that whether this method is executed or not. I'm placing a simple instruction that is going to display test in the console, right? And let me include the packages. Okay, ABC. Name of the package is the ABC. Right now it is very clear. So I have class, I have a constructor, I have a method, and I have another class. The name of the class is test, and the main method. So if I want to invoke this method, object creation is mandatory. AOBJ equal to new A. So with the help of this reference, I can call the test method. Right? We know these things already, and let me save this. Okay, file save as test.java. It has been saved successfully. If you look at the directory, you will be seeing the exact file with the .java extension, test.java, right? If I just perform the compilation, right? The moment I start performing the compilation, this is the typical command for the compilation. Java C space hyphen D dot test.java, right? So now you're able to see that a folder is getting created. In the real time, a folder is getting created. The folder has been created, ABC. Inside this ABC folder, you will get to see the two dot class files. One is a.class file and second one is test.class file. Okay. The moment I start executing this Java space ABC dot, we can guess the output. The output is going to be what? Test itself, right? But my concern is I do not want to create an object. Okay, so not exactly I don't want to create an object. For example, let us say that I have a constructor which is default in nature. The access modifier of my constructor is found to be default in nature. If I start making the changes to my constructor, let me say that I am restricting the object creation by placing the access modifier as private. Okay, if I do this, I cannot create an object outside the class. Yes or no? The constructor is private, right? Strictly private, which means outside the class you cannot create an object for this constructor because the access modifier is private, right? If I just try to execute this piece of code once again, what you will be getting? Java C space d.java. See, A has the private access in A constructor as a private access in A. Object creation is not possible because you are dealing with a constructor which is not part of the current class. So let me put this in the plain screen. Okay. Let me put this in the plain screen. So now it will make more sense. Now we focus here. So you are dealing with two different classes, yes or no? So this is one class and this is second class. Okay, and you are creating an object for the class A. This object creation is for a different class. Okay, but if you look at the constructor, after the new keyword you are using what you are using, you are calling the A constructor. After the new keyword you are calling what? You are calling the A constructor. Okay, which means definitely the control will try to invoke the A constructor. However, the access modifier of the A constructor is what? The access modifier of the A constructor is private, which means there is a restriction. Object cannot be created. So this object creation is not possible. First thing, first observation. If object creation itself is not possible, can you call the method? Can you call the test method? Impossible. You cannot call the test method outside the class because there is a restriction in the object creation. So this is the first observation. Okay. Is there any other way? Is there any other change I can do so that I can call the test method? For instance, if I am allowed to make a change in the test method so that I can call this test method without creating an object. What changes I can do with the test method? Anyone can help me with the change that I can do with the test method so that I can call this test method without creating an object? Anyone? Any insights that I can get? Okay. Let me give the answer by myself. Okay, this method is what? This method is an instance method. Okay, what I just said, I want to make some changes to this method so that I do not want to depend upon the object creation. I can directly call this method. What changes that I can make, guys? Simply I can change this to static, right? The moment I make this method, change this method from instance method to static method by using the static keyword, the method becomes static method. Okay, to call a static method, object creation is not mandatory. So I do not have to depend upon the object creation, or I do not have to depend upon the new keyword. Directly I can do what? Directly I can use the class name, okay, dot followed by I can call the respective method, which is what? The test method. So this is possible, isn't it? Don't you think this is possible? Second case. I am able to call the test method because I have made some changes and I have changed the method as from instance method to static method, so that I do not have to depend upon the object creation. I can simply call this method, right? But my job is that, so my requirement is I do not want to create an object. First requirement. What if I do not want to? What? Don't want to create an object. as well as what if I don't want to make the changes to the instance method. Without doing these two, somehow I want to call this, without even, I do not want to change this to static, but still I want to call the test method, and also I want to ensure that the constructor is the private constructor. I want to maintain these two things, but still I want to call this method. Okay, so what is my intention? I do not want to create an object. First thing, I don't want to create an object, as well as I do not want to make changes to the instance method to static. Method from instance to static method, from instance method to static method. Okay, so by taking these considerations, I can use what? I can use a method called the factory methods. Now the factory methods will come into the picture. Factory methods. So there are two types of factory methods. One is the static factory method. Second one is what? Instance factory method. Okay, let us understand about the static factory method. Where exactly we can use the static factory method? So this is the scenario. What is the scenario? You do not want to create an object. Okay, and also if you do not want to change the method from static method to instance, if you want to deal with the instance method, you want to deal with the non-static method or the instance method. Instance method or non-static. Don't want to create an object, or if you do not want to deal with the instance method or static method, then you can comfortably go for static factory method. So what is the static factory method? Okay, let me explain it for you. Okay, let me keep the methods like this. So now what I'm trying to do, I'm removing this also. I'm removing this as well. So I'm going to take a method. I'm going to take an help. Okay, for example, to achieve this by the above requirements, it would be required to create a method which is an helper method, and the helper method is called as static factory method. Okay, so inside the class here, so we are dealing with the class here because test method is part of class here. So inside the class here, I am taking a method. Let me say the name of the method is, let me keep the name of the method as helper method itself. I am creating a method by the name of helper method itself. Okay, and so this helper method is going to help me. The helper method is going to help me to create an object for the current class. Let me repeat. The helper method is going to have a logic, or I can say that the helper method is going to help me out to create an object for the current class. So what is a current class? A, right? So I will do the object creation inside the helper method. Like I will say, okay, I will use this helper method to create an object. Even though the constructor is private, no issues, because you are creating an object within the same class. Within the same class, you are using an helper method. Inside that helper method, you are getting an object. Even though the constructor is private, there will be no conflict, there will be no restrictions. You are free to create an object because you are creating an object in the same class. Only the problem comes if you try to place these instructions outside the class or outside the class. Yeah, there will be a problem. There is a restriction, access modifier concept. Outside the class, you cannot create an object for a private constructor, but within the class we can do that, right? So I am creating an object. After creating an object, I am going to return what? I will be returning this reference variable, return obj. If I am returning obj, right, this obj is of what type? This obj is of a type. What is a? Class type. Okay, the return type will be a itself, right? So this is a helper method that is going to that is going to help us to build an object and return the reference variable, right? And I will be placing the static keyword. Okay, and this method is called as what? The static factory method. This method is called as what? Static factory method. Now it is going to solve what? Solve the issues that we are facing till now. Is going to solve our issues completely that we are facing till now. Let me put it in the paintbrush. Okay, let me change this font size, guys. It's not the right one. Let me take this. Okay, I think this is okay. This is fine. Let me separate the two classes. Okay, now focus here. Now you are able to see two classes, right? So I have separated it for the better observation, right? Focus on this helper method. Focus on this helper method. So I can say that, okay, I can say that by definition, this is a static method. By definition, by declaration, it is a static method. Second one is, and by functionality, it is what? It is the helper method. It is the helper method. Okay. So by definition as well as by functionality, combining the definition as well as functionality, I can say that it is the static factory method. Static factory method. So now you will come to know why this word factory method has come. Why the word factory? What usually you get from the factory? Factory, they produce a lot of products, right? They produce a lot of products. Depends upon the product that you see. You can see a lot of products. If a specific factory produce a specific products, so it changes from one factory to another factory. So in Java, when you say factory method, blindly they produce what? They produce the object references. The object gets created and it is going to return what? It is going to return the reference variable. What it is doing actually, right? It is creating an object and it is assigning the reference variable, which is what? Which is the obj itself, right? And you get this reference variable whenever you call this method. Whenever you call this helper method, right? You get this reference variable. By using this reference variable, you can call the methods that are there in the respective class. Okay, now there is a conclusion. So now this is not possible. A obj equal to new a. This is not possible because the constructor is private. This is completely not possible because the constructor is private, isn't it? Constructor is private. And also you cannot call the test method by using the class name. This is also not possible because the method is non-static method, isn't it? The method is not static method. Okay. To overcome these two things, okay, I am taking the help of helper method. So I can blindly call this helper method. How I can call this helper method? Simply by using the class name, which is what? Which is a, right? Dot. I can just call what? Helper method. Helper. That is the name of the method, isn't it? The moment I call this method, okay, it has a return type. It is returning what? It is returning the reference variable. I have to capture that. So the RHS side, the method call is happening. In the LHS side, I have to catch the reference variable that is being returned by the helper method. It is returning obj. What is obj? Obj is a reference variable of the object creation, right? So I need to create my own reference variable name, which is ref I am taking, and the return type is a. Okay, very simple. Whatever the return type that you are placing here, you need to capture that by using the same return type. Since here it is a, it has to be a. Right? Now this reference variable, okay, this reference variable is capturing what? Is capturing obj. Okay, this obj is indirectly assigned to this reference variable. This obj is indirectly assigned to this reference variable. Indirectly assigned to this reference variable. Now by using this reference variable, which is ref dot, I can call what? I can call the test method. Now our problem is resolved, right? Now our problem is, what is our problem? Since the constructor is private, you cannot do this. This is not possible. Okay, and since the method is instance method, okay, you cannot call this directly by using the class. This is also not possible, right? There are two consecutive adults here. Okay, you are facing some adults here, right? So to overcome that, blindly I am taking a help of an helper method, which is a what? Which is a static factory method. Static, the generic word. Okay, so when you say static, it means the method type has to be static type. Factory method means any method that is returning the object reference. Okay, that is called as factory method. Okay, since the type is static, it becomes static factory method. Simply object creation is happening inside this. It is producing the objects. It is producing and returning the object references. Apart from that, it's not doing anything. Right? By this, my problem has been solved, isn't it? If I just try to use this, okay, let me call this helper method a dot helper method, right? RHS side is fulfilled. LHSL, I'm taking the reference variable and I'm taking the type as a. By using this reference variable, I can simply call what? I can simply call the test method. Okay, now do you think that I am using the new keyword in the main method? I'm not using the new keyword in the main method. I am not directly creating an object here, right? I'm depending upon the object creation. I am asking some other method to do the object creation on my behalf, because me as a me from the test class, I cannot create an object for the class A because the access modifier is private. I am asking for the object creation. I'm taking help from the helper method, so that helper method is creating an object on my behalf. Indirectly, I'm doing the object creation by invoking this helper method, and I'm collecting the reference. Okay, by using this reference, I'm calling the test method. Now satisfied? No? Let me run this. Test. You will understand simple thing, right? Yes, no. Have you understood till now what I'm trying to say about the helper method, static factory method? Hello? Are you there? Hello? Hello? Yes, are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
I thought everyone are. Dinesh is asking me to explain once. Okay, what you want me to explain, Dinesh? Tell me which topic you haven't understood. I will explain that for you. Which one you want me to explain? Helper method. Huh? Can unmute and speak, Dinesh. No issues. Only 5 members are here. Okay, helper method. Okay, helper method. It is a kind of like it is helping us to create an object, right? Let me put this in a different way. See, very simple. See, the idea here is I am doing a obj equal to new a. Okay, definitely the main thread will try to invoke the constructor, a constructor, right? Definitely the main thread is trying to invoke the a constructor. But the problem here is the access modifier of the a constructor is private. Okay, so there is a restriction, right? There is a restriction. You cannot create an object. First thing, Second thing is my requirement is I want to call this test method. To call this test method, definitely till yesterday's class, our knowledge permits us to create an object. Okay, our knowledge says you have to create an object to call the test method, but object creation itself is not possible. First thing is. Second thing is you also cannot change this instance method to static method. You know, there is another restriction. Okay, so you are not supposed to change the method from static instance to static method. There is another kind of restriction. So what you are trying to do here is, since you are not able to create an object because you are dealing with a test, you are dealing with a different class, you are doing the object creation in the same class. Indirectly, you are doing the object creation by using the method called the static factory method. This will help you out to create an object, right? Okay, and it is going to return the reference variable, right? So by using this reference variable, you catch this reference variable that is being returned by the helper method, and you are invoking the test method. So object creation is there, but not directly, but indirectly, right? So whenever a method is helping you out to create objects, those methods are called also factory methods. And static comes when the method is of static type, and non-static comes when the method is of what? Non-static factory method, when the method is of non-static type. In the real-time examples, right? So is there any real-time examples where you will be coming across this static method? Okay, the real-time examples are like yesterday we have seen now class C equal to, I have explained you something about the for name method, class dot for name. It is going to accept what? It is going to accept something like the fully qualified name. Fully qualified name. Okay, this class dot for name. Okay, this is also and what? This is a static factory method. This class dot for name. Okay, this is also static. The real time examples. So we have seen these examples, how to use the class dot for name to load the dot class file dynamically. Without creating an object, we are going to load the dot class file dynamically. So this is how we load it. So internally it is using what? Static factory method. So what is another example that we have? We have number format. Number format nt equal to number format dot get instance. We will discuss this in the garbage collection concept. Get instance, it will accept a parameter in the form of integer. Let me say one. So this is also the static factory method. There is something like date format. Okay, so dt equal to date format dot get date instance. Okay, you pass an argument in the form of a numerical value. So this is also like what? The concept is they are using the static factory method. Like that, in the garbage collection there is a topic called runtime. RT equal to runtime dot get runtime. Okay, so internally it's using this concept of static factory method, right? The complete things, when in the future you may be coming across this kind of method calls, so you should not be getting any confusion internally. Okay, ideally it is a kind of what? It is using the static factory method. These are the predefined classes that is available inside the Java. Okay, when you download the Java software, you deal with this method calls, which are what? Static factory methods, right? And the user defined. Okay, user defined factory methods, which I have just explained. Aref equal to a dot helper method. Right? So this is our own static factory method. Okay, by using this reference variable, if there are any methods inside the class A, I can call those methods. Likewise, by using this reference variable, if there are any methods in this number format class, I can call those methods. If there are any methods in date format class, I can call those methods. If there are any methods in runtime class, I can call those methods. Right? This is all about what? This is all about static factory method. Sir, okay, sir, it is all good about okay. It is okay about the static factory method. But there is another topic called what? The instance factory method. What is an instance factory method? Okay. So what is the static factory method? We informed that static factory methods are going to press create the objects and return its references or instances. They are used when there is a restriction in the object creation or outside the class or constructor is placed as a So this is all about static factory method. And the last topic is very easy, instance factory method. Instance factory method is just like static factory method, but no, you just do the object creation by removing the static keyword. We'll see some examples. Before understanding some examples, I will show you some real-time examples of instance factory method. Real-time examples of instance. So you have a string, guys. Okay, so there is a concept of strings in Java. So for now, let me keep it very simple. Okay, the string class is going to accept what? A sequence of characters. Let me say that I have a sequence of characters like I love Java. Right? So this is the string. Okay, I love Java is a string sequence of characters which is going to be assigned to the variable str. And the second thing is, I want to do some changes here. What I'm saying, I am saying string str1. I'm taking a new reference variable str1. Okay, I'm using this existing reference variable and I'm calling another method on this existing reference variable, which is the what? Concat method. Don't worry about this concat method. Okay, so I'm just giving the real-time examples of instance factory method. So what I'm doing in the concat method, I'm passing a string as a parameter saying that and Python. Okay, this concat method is going to do what? This concat method performs the concatenation, right? It is going to accept I love Java, right? Okay, this I love Java will get concatenated with the another string, which is what? Space and Python. This is one of the typical example of what? Instance factory method. So you see, you're not creating any object. First of all, you don't see any object creation. Okay, blindly there is a string, there is a sequence of character, right? You are taking that reference variable and you are calling another method, okay, and you are passing another sequence of characters. This is going to give you what? The moment you start printing system dot out dot println, if you print str1, you get output like I love Java and Python. Okay, so let me put this in the. You will understand the example as well. Okay, let me remove these things, not necessary. Let me remove this thing. Very simple class I have. Class test. Okay, str I love Java. str1 str.concat and Python. Okay, I'm printing this. Okay, I just try to execute this piece of code. I love Java and Python. So you're not using the new keyword at all. First of all, somehow there is a logic behind the scenes in the string class. The string class is the inbuilt class. Okay, it comes along with the Java software. So they have a inside the string class there is a method called concat method. So you just do what you are using the existing reference variable str, and on top of this reference variable you're calling the concat method. They are passing a different string. So these two things are getting concatenated. Okay. So what they are saying internally they are working with the concept of what? With the concept of instance factory method. Instance factory method. This instance factory method is actually helping the helping the string class to create an object and to call the different references from one reference to another reference. Right? And also there is another method, like let us say the string str3. So by using this reference, okay, str, I can call another method, to lowercase method. There is a method called to lowercase method. This str1 is what? I love Java and Python. So this whole thing gets converted to the lowercase letters. Or else let me do uppercase. Instead of lowercase, let me do it to uppercase. Okay, let me print this reference variable. Str. Let me execute this piece of code. I love Java and Python. See, and this resultant value is getting converted to the uppercase letter. I love Java and Python. Let us see some real-time examples of both instance factory method. If you have understood static factory method, instance factory method is also very easy. For this, I want to take a different class. Okay, let me take a class like class car class. Okay, and inside this car class, I want to take a variable like private string model public car string model. Okay, so I'm taking a constructor. So this dot car equal to, so this dot model equal to, I don't think you need an explanation for this. This is the car constructor, right? So I'm taking a car constructor and I'm taking a method getter. I'm taking getter public string get model. Okay, so this is going to return. Not teaching anything new, guys. This is the existing topic I'm teaching. So in my class, in my car class, I have a variable of private type. So the variable is of what? Access modifier is private and it is of string type. Second one is I'm taking a constructor, right? I will accept the values from the end user. Okay, and the value that is being accepted in the constructor will be assigned to this instance variable. I'm taking a getter method. This get model is going to return what data is there inside this car class constructor. Okay. Simple car class I have taken. Okay. Now I want to take something like class car factory. So this is second class. Okay. So inside this car class factory, I am taking a method car create car. This car factory is going to help me out to create cars, which is going to accept the model here. Okay, and it's going to return what? And new car. Focus here. This example is going to be very interesting. So I have a car class, okay, and I have the car factory class. Right, I have a car class and I have a car factory class, which has the this is going to create the actual cars. Okay, I am taking another class. Okay, public class test class. Public static void main string array of. See guys, let me explain this model. I have a package ABC. So inside my package, first class is what? I have taken a car class. Inside my car class, I have an instance variable, I have a constructor, and I have a getter. I have a method. Okay, so this is the car class. Okay, and the second class I am taking was car factory class. So why car factory class I am taking? So I am placing a method. Okay, this method is called as what? Instance factory method. Instance factory method, because it is creating object references. It is creating object references. So you are getting any confusion? Okay, let me do like this. Instead of doing like this, I can do what? Car obj equal to new car return obj. It is creating returning a reference of what? Reference of the object. Okay. The third class I am taking a test class, which is the main class. Inside this main class, what I am doing, I am creating an object for the car factory equal to new car factory. Okay. After this, with the help of this reference variable, okay, what I am doing, I am creating what? I am creating car. Create car. Okay, what car I want to create? BMW. After creating the car, the return type is going to be what? The car itself, right? REF. Okay, so after the car creation, I'm doing what? System dot out dot println. Okay, I'm calling what? Car dot get. If you run this code, I will give you the explanation. Okay, we will trace it together. We are getting BMW. So now you see, okay, it is a small class only. Don't judge the class by the number of lines. The logic is very simple. Let me paste it here. Okay, let me separate these two. Let me separate this one. Let me separate this. Let us start tracing from the main method. So this is the main method, right? So before even starting the tracing, you need to recognize. Okay, so you have three classes. So this is the recognition that you have to do. Okay, you have three classes. One is the car class. Second one is the car factory class. The third one is the main class. Okay, the job of the main class is to what? It is going to deal with the main method, where the exact logic will be there. So where the control transfer will happen, deal with the main method. So this is very simple, right? So this car factory method, okay, inside the class car factory, I have taken a method. And if you observe this method, just try to understand what this method is doing actually. It is actually doing the object creations, right? The method is a logic which is just creating an object. Okay, for what it is creating an object? It is creating an object for which class? It is creating an object for the car class. So this is the car class. It is creating an object, right? If you look at this constructor, okay, car model, car, you are passing the model. Model is of what type? Model is representing the string type. Definitely, the moment this constructor is invoked, definitely the control will be transferred to invoke this constructor. The actual values will be set, right? So this method, which is creating an object, is called as what? Instance factory method. So you are not using static keyword. That's why it's called as what? Instance factory methods. Simple, isn't it? Okay, let us understand the control flow. Okay, first instruction is what? Car factory equal to new car factory, right? So new keyword you are using, okay, definitely an object has to get created, and the reference variable is what? Factory. Okay. Car factory, new car factory. So since there are no instance variables inside this car factory class, definitely the values will be empty. Very next thing we are doing is, the next instruction is what? Okay, by using this reference variable factory, you are calling the create car method and you are passing the value BMW. Okay, BMW value you are passing. So this BMW will be transmitted. The value BMW will be transmitted to where? Okay, to the create create car method, right? So this is the create car method. The value BMW is going to get transmitted to the create car method. Okay, and inside the BMW, the model becomes BMW, right? And this BMW is going to be part of the car constructor. New car model will be replaced by BMW. Again, from here the BMW is going to get transmitted to where? Transmitted to this constructor, isn't it? Okay, and this is going to get transmitted to model. Okay, since you're using this keyword, this will be assigned to what? The instance variable BMW. These things are happening behind the scenes, right? After this, what is the next instruction? What is the next instruction? By using the reference variable, of factory dot create car, it is going to return what? It is going to return the car object itself, right? By using this reference variable, you're calling the get model method. So where is the get model method? This is the get model method. So this get model method is returning what? Returning model. What is a model? Model is BMW itself. This BMW will be returned to the console. Okay. So you don't see any new keyword for what? New keyword for the actual class. So you're dealing the main class is what? The car class is the main class. So no new keyword is used for the main class. Instead of that, you are creating a new keyword for the car factory class, which is creating an object for the car class. So indirectly, instead of creating the object for the car class directly, you are taking the method of another class. Okay, what is the method? The instance factory method you are taking. So this instance factory method is helping you to build an object reference. By this help of this object reference, you are calling the car class to deal with the data. Right? So here this method is called as what? This method is called as insert factory method. So by looking at this, so see, since I am doing the execution, I am doing the tracing, so you might be coming across a huge amount of confusion. Okay, but if you, there are only 3 lines of code here. Okay, so this the first line is usually doing what? This first line is usually doing this object creation, no issues. Okay, second line is usually doing what? So with the help of this factory, okay, you have an option to call the method which is a create car method, right? So you're passing the value BMW. BMW means you're not only passing the value BMW, and also you're invoking the constructor here. You are invoking the constructor, right? So this is ensuring that a car object is also getting created. Okay, and the reference variable is model. This model is going to have what? BMW. Okay, what is a reference variable that is passing? This is what? OBJ. OBJ is the reference variable, right? After this, with the help of this reference, okay, ref, you are taking the new reference variable. Ref is a new reference variable that is created for calling this instance factory method. With the help of this reference variable, okay, which is same as the OBJ. This OBJ is same as ref. Ref, by using this reference variable, where is it? By using this reference variable, you are calling what? You are calling get model method. Get model method is returning what? Returning the model. So what is a model? BMW. So BMW will be displayed in the console. Okay, if you like this, if you can just pass different values, for example, first time you are passing BMW, second time you are passing Audi, okay, third time you are passing something like Honda, right? So you need to change the reference variable, cannot be duplicated. Reference 1, reference 2, reference 3, reference 1, reference 2, and reference 3. You just execute this piece of code. Okay, so you are not directly create an object for the car class. You are using the instance factory method that is helping you to create an object for the car class, and you are getting the desired output. So this functionality is same as the functionality that you have just discussed before. Okay, for this instant factory method, okay, this functionality is same as this functionality. You don't get these things by the lecture that I have given. You have to practice this code at least once Okay, in the if you have time, you can practice this in the online compiler. Definitely these things will become very clear. Trust me. There are a lot of developing things that you will be doing in the real-time application. You will be coming across this kind of methods very often, right? So simply practicing method will be more than enough. This simply practicing the code that I have given is more than enough. Just understanding static factory method is easy, but there's a little complication in instance factory method. So with the practice, we'll understand better. Right. So by this, I can conclude that the topic of static factory and the topic of instance factory method is completed. Tomorrow we'll try to understand about what. Tomorrow there is a concept called the singleton case. So many times, okay, if you take 20 interviews, so you get this question at least in 18 interviews. Singleton class, very important. Okay? This is one of the design patterns. So don't miss tomorrow's class. I will conclude this. Thank you so much for your time. If you have any